Hey guys, Hydra here, I'm now Square, and what I want to talk to you about today is what I mentioned in my previous video. The developer news regarding the changes and transmission chapter we'll be getting from PTB to release. And heads up, some of those changes are real quality, some are okay, and one change in particular makes me question reality itself, because I just can't believe it. Now, let's get into that, starting with the Singularity. They buffed the killer a bit. Well, as I told you in my previous video, Singularity is overall quite fun, but there was one significant problem there. That problem being EMPs. They were omnipresent, because there were 7 crates, printing them automatically every 80 seconds. So at max, the map could have up to 11 EMPs ready to use at any given moment. This was harsh on Singularity when facing teams, yet more or less manageable at least on the PTB. However, this was still a problem and everyone recognized that. At least I hope that everyone did. And so BHVR have changed that. How did they do it? First of all, they decreased the number of supply cases to 5, which is kinda smart. This is a good one. Less density of crates on the map, more time to search for them, more time to take one when you don't have it. Also, supply cases now take 90 seconds instead of 80 to print an EMP passively. Interacting still speeds this up 4 times, meaning that interaction goes from 20 seconds to 22.5. This is overall a nice change that will have its effect due to the fact of how often EMPs are needed in the game against Singularity. They are extremely useful. Also, survivors who are currently holding an EMP will no longer see the auras of supply cases. This change is actually much better than it looks like, for 2 reasons. There were 2 situations where seeing the aura of a crate while carrying an EMP was extremely useful. First one was when you needed to work on a gen that Singularity tried to defend. You could look around the gen and see if there is an EMP crate nearby. So you could come, disable one camera, then go, pick the EMP, and disable the second one if there was any. If there wasn't, you could just renew your EMP that you carried in an instant and go on that gen. Now that won't be the case, and this isn't the most important part. The most important part is that previously on the PTB you could plan your chase accordingly to go to a place where you know there is a crate and you can pick an EMP up during the chase. This is something I've done plenty during the PTB, and this will not be that easy with this slight change. Now, next up are some quality of life changes. First one is in the looks of a disabled biopod. This one is actually really nice for a simple reason. This red indication of biopod being disabled wasn't that obvious on the PTB. Now we have a lot of red stuff on the screen and these nice letters that will indicate that the camera is off for some time. Also, this bar is an indicator of its reload time. This is also not something extremely obvious, at least on the PTB. I had to look for it to find it, so that's why I'm telling you about it. And also the overclock. They've added the... Oh, we need to hide the pyramid. On the PTB, you could see that overclock is there due to green markings around your screen, something like that, but you couldn't tell when it's going to end. Now they are adding the power icon, so that you could know that. This is actually quite nice. I've had several situations where I couldn't count on my overclock and had to carry a brown add-on that increased the timer of the overclock to be sure I will be able to use it. This also applies to a couple add-ons that will be now working, probably they were working just the same on the PTB, but now it states that they are working during the overclock duration. And overall, this is really, really nice. However, these changes are exactly what I thought of as changes that fuck it. Forget everything I said in the last 15 seconds. Here's the thing. As I told you in my previous video, the problem with Singularity is I don't know how to buff him to not create a menace out of him in terms of 3 gens, and yet in the same time how to nerf his 3 gen capabilities to not kill his chase entirely. This buff will increase his 3 genning capabilities incredibly. Not something I'd hope for. I really don't want to see another killer doing 3 gens constantly. Yet that's something that I will do as Singularity, and most people will, unfortunately. Now, moving on to the Executioner. You remember I've done a whole separate video on this guy. I told you how bad this change is, how it's unfair, unnecessary, and so and so and so, and camping and tunneling and stuff and stuff and stuff. They are reverting the change, it won't be coming live. Also, what BHVR are saying, somewhere it should have been somewhere here. We also have some concerns. For some reason, it's been present in. It's interesting actually. When I read Russian notes, they stated that they will be looking into the matter to make Torment different, to change the mechanic. However, here I don't see it. Like, they are not stating that. That's interesting. Overall, this buff is not coming live, that's a good thing. And now we move on to perks. And what about the perks? Let's start off with something that is good, then something that is worse, then end the video with something that is terrible. So, the good. Machine learning. Machine learning was the best out of the Singularity's bunch, the most useful, the most consistent, and it will be a slightly better on the live servers. Why? Because they are buffing the haste effect from 7% to 10%. As you know from my previous video, 3% difference is huge. So this makes the perk better overall. Fun fact, if you want to go nuts and create a build that makes you a Speedy Gonzalez, what you should do is you take machine learning, then you take game afoot, and finally whiff. Stack 3 whiff stacks, find your obsession, go into chase with them after a gen is over, and after you break a pallet in the chase, you are 130% fast. No, 145% fast. Shit, you are 30% faster. This will be fun, this will be fun. And finally, the second perk for the killer that is getting buffed is Forced Hesitation. Do you recall me saying that Forced Hesitation is badly designed because it helps campers and slugging killers like Nurse or Blight or Oni or Plague, the strongest of the bunch in the game? Overall, perk did bad on the PTB, and BHVR noticed that, and they buffed the perk. Now it is even better for campers and for sluggers. Is that a good change? No. Is it good that BHVR decided to buff a weak perk? Yeah. But this perk needs a rework. And speaking of reworks, we are moving on to the ugly Scavenger. I told you that, Odds told you that, literally everyone in the community told you that Scavenger was OP. And BHVR decided to nerf the perk. What they have done is the following. First, they've increased the number of great skill checks required to activate the perk from 4 to 5. Then, once activated, this perk reduces a survivor's repair speed by 50% for the next 30 seconds. And finally, Scavenger can now be used more than once per trial. First part, the increased number of great skill checks required. You know, most of the PTB I've been using this perk on either yellow or green rarity. And what I can tell you is that this one skill check difference is something you won't even feel statistically. It will be almost the same as before. Now, the second part sounds like a real serious nerf, but is it really? here's the issue. Let's go and look at the perks description on the PTB. Perks Scavenger. While you are holding an empty toolbox, this perk activates. So meaning that this means that the second you have an empty toolbox, Scavenger is active. It doesn't deactivate unless you get rid of the toolbox or replenish it. Which basically means that this 30-second speed reduction is something you can wait to go away and then do gens at full speed. So how will this actually look when this perk goes live? You find a gen, you sit on it, you do like half of it, then you use your toolbox, you finish the gen and empty your toolbox in the process. After that, Scavenger activates and you go do something else. Go in a chase with the killer, go heal someone, go do an unhook, find a gen that is blocked by deadlock and wait out the deadlock. Do whatever you like. Do hexes, do boons, whatever. You have time to do other stuff that you need to do anyway. And after you've done that stuff, you find another gen, you sit on that gen, you get your skill checks, you replenish your toolbox, you use the toolbox on that gen, and now you have this perk active again. You repeat the process. And here's the worst part. Why can you even repeat the process? Well, that's easy, because Scavenger now can be used more than once per trial. How do you pick a perk and nerf it to realize that you've buffed it? How is that possible? How can you nerf something in a way that buffs the perk? How? How do you do that? Oh, wait, I know how. They did the same thing with Death Heart previously. Fuck. This is nuts. This is crazy. This makes me question reality and my will to play this game. Okay, I will be playing this game anyway. I will be having a lot of fun. But this is stupid. This is just why is this possible? I don't know, guys. I don't know how that. They did a number here. That's what I can tell you for sure. They did a number here, and I don't like that number. Of course, if you try to use your toolbox in the beginning, then do the gen with this speed reduction, you won't be using this perk efficiently, you will hurt yourself more than benefit. If you do use this perk right, it is powerful as fuck. Also, they did not change made for this, no problem in that perk at all, no, nada. Let's look back at machine learning. Behavior understand that 7%, that 3% difference is a lot. But only when it comes to the killer perk. When it comes to the survivor perk, they just don't see the problem. On the plus side of things, when this patch gets live, on the 14th of June, I will be playing together with some of my friends on stream and we'll be harassing killers with these new perks, with made for this, with Scavenger, with several interesting combinations that let you heal your teammates instantly and get them under endurance effect. This will be extremely fun and we'll be excited about the stuff. That one stream we are doing that. After that, I will cry a lot every time I meet people doing the same shit to me. This won't be fun for me or for any killer that meets this. That said, this video is over. Thank you for watching and I'll see you in the next one. I'm probably going to go and cry into my pillow. Bye everyone.